Hi everybody, this is Knitting in Our Jeans as another solo, Carolyn by herself, known as CPREDMOR on Ravelry, and occasionally posting as Knitting in Our Jeans. Do you love that? I think I'll take those off. Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. Yeah, very little makeup. So an update. My mom is out of the hospital. We got down there and managed to get her sorted, and she has a few more medications. She is in the nursing unit of her assisted living facility. They offer primary, secondary, and tertiary care, or independent living, assisted living, and nursing care. She's not happy because she's not in her own little apartment. Every time we have had to increase her care, she's not happy. She sees herself as a fierce, independent woman. And that fierce independent woman, who had been wheelchair bound for 6 months, had decided to get up and walk across her living room, which is when she fell. We still don't know exactly why she fell. Any number of reasons could have existed. Anyway, it was around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They immediately heard her. There are a couple seats in the hallway outside her front door, and she normally keeps that door open. And the nurse who was sitting there heard her, so they immediately came in. They got her. They called the rescue squad, the fire department, which is normal, and got her over to Fairfax Hospital, where she was treated extremely well. She had wonderful nursing care there. They would have done a few more things if she had been amenable. She is not someone who does well with a mask on her face, so the next steps would have included a mask on her face to kind of force oxygen in, rather than just a nasal cannula that helps oxygen into her body. So she is now wearing oxygen 24 hours a day. This is because her heart is failing. She's 96, and she had her first heart attack when she was 50. So she has done phenomenally well in handling her heart disease. I mean, this is just amazing. Is she happy? She is not happy. She has an aide daily. 5 days a week, it's a woman she really likes. 2 days a week, there's a substitute. And then, of course, there's the staff at the facility. She just was saying to my brother that she thinks the night staff is rude. Well, she goes to sleep about 8 o'clock, so the only thing I could think that they would be rude is that they're waking her up to check on her, because she is on the nursing unit. Anyway, one of my brothers will be there to see her tomorrow, and then we have a meeting with the staff on Thursday that I'll attend by phone. And we'll see what's going on. I have managed to make contact with the dietitian so that I can get the weekly menu and fill it out for her, since she does not care to, and has never cared to, but then complains bitterly when she gets ethnic food. I mean, she likes navy beans, not lentils. To me, whatever. But I'll make sure she doesn't get lentils of any kind. And if there's navy beans, I'll sign her up twice for those. So that's where we're at. My knitting has been slow. I have to tell you, it's hard to wrap my head around my knitting. I will say, I'm cleaning up my desk here. I have worked on my hat pattern. For those of you who happen to be interested in the hat pattern, I have, I think, answered all of the comments from my tech editor, and I've just sent it back to her. And if that's okay, then we will be publishing the cable hat pattern and the cable cowl pattern, or I'll be sending it over to Asylum Fibers, because I used her Barbie pink yarn, and I thought it was a good combination, since the pattern was based off of the pattern I saw from the comment. Nevertheless, she persisted. I thought it was perfect. Anyway, what have I been doing? As I said, between trying to calm my mother down, trying to see what my mother can do, I have spent several days hand feeding my mother, and that includes ripping off pieces of a roll and feeding it to her. You know, you do what you have to do. Anyway, this is my dress, which you all have seen and I have worn. But, and the black and white yarn is machine washable and dryable, and it had stretched. So I threw it in the washer and the dryer, and it shrunk a little bit up, which is fine. That's what I wanted. But I think it's a little short for someone my age, and I'm a little chubby to boot. So I'm adding a red hem. So I will do as much hem as I can out of this ball of yarn, which was left over from my Haida Foodie, which I made several years ago that I dearly love and haven't been wearing. God knows why. Probably because I don't have shelving for my sweaters. They're kind of in drawers. And if we ever move to a different house, I'm going to make sure that I've got sweater shelves that are made out of cedar, so I don't have to worry about anything eating them. And that'll be great. Anyway, this is Memorial Day. Elizabeth and her partner Ben are up visiting Aunt Marianne, and they're having a great time. I've gotten some photos from what they were doing over the weekend. It looks like a ton of fun. We'll be seeing Aunt Marianne around the 4th of July, and I can't wait. So I'm here by myself. Hopefully this will be okay, because I just heard thunder and lightning, so I'm assuming there was lightning. The thunder was huge. And hopefully I don't fritz my computer. I'm going to continue now working on this dress. I will respond to my tech editor and hopefully get the pattern over to Asylum Fiber. The update was I was supposed to have a meeting with Go Sadie in May. They have all been canceled. And now I have one, I think the first or second week of June. We'll see. I'm asking Ben to maybe discuss with me the benefits or the pros and cons of Go Sadie and going all in with Go Sadie, or setting up my own website and obviously continuing on Ravelry the same way we have, and maybe going the lowest level of Go Sadie, because I do like getting their information about the pattern companies that are looking for patterns. And once I kind of finish, or whether I'll ever fully decompress from what my mother is doing or how my mother is feeling, I doubt. But as I get a little bit more headspace and a little bit more, I don't know, wherewithal, I had made a hooded cowl for Knit Picks that they didn't like, so I'd like to write up that pattern. And I could do that both in cable and in the lace pattern, so that would be a nice furtherance or extension of those two patterns. And then I can try to wrap my head around this sweater thing, because this is essentially a long sweater, and if I can figure out how to do the front without having just a round neck, I will be very happy. And that's the state of the art. That's where we're at the moment. For those of you who asked how we're doing, thank you so very much. The answer is, we have a new rule in this house. We don't talk about my mother while I'm backing up the car. We don't talk about my mother while we're walking along anywhere. We have to be seated, because we were in a diner in Alexandria, and we were leaving out the back door, and we were talking, Richard and I were talking about my mom, and he managed to hook one foot behind the other and fell down. I mean, just tripped himself. And so, I mean, he hurt his wrist, basically a light sprain. So he's been icing that. Luckily, nothing else was hurt. His new knee wasn't hurt. His old knee wasn't hurt. So we don't talk about her when we're moving of any description, unless we're on a train and we don't have any control over where we're moving. Because she, or the third thing is don't talk about my mom just before I have my blood pressure tested, because it goes straight up. you know, she wants to do what she wants to do, and she doesn't want to acknowledge that perhaps her capabilities are less than what she thinks they are. This is the first visit in 3.5 years where she hasn't tried to convince me that she could drive her car, and that's because she was in the hospital. She did think the first night was Sunday night, that we were going to go out to dinner, then we were going to come back and we were going to take her out of the hospital and we were going to drop her off at her apartment, and she was ready to go. And she was furious with me on Monday when I said, that's nuts. No, you don't leave this hospital in my car ever. You're leaving in a transport vehicle, either an ambulance or a transport vehicle. You're not leaving in my car. And that made her madder than a wet hen. And I said, and you're going to the nursing unit, not to your apartment. Well, why can't I go to my apartment? You know, I'm paying for it. Please. So anyway, we're doing the best we can. I will have more information after Thursday. And end of life is hard. End of life is very hard. And God bless her, she's going kicking and screaming the entire way. And you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. Anyway, thank you all. I will see you probably this weekend. But we'll have to see. I mean, who knows? I've had to let church know that please don't count me in as a reader for the next several months because we had to pack up and leave at a moment's notice. So anyway, that's the state of the art. Life is always interesting and challenging, and let's weave in those ends, and I'll see you as soon as I can. Bye.